When I was in college, I wrote and directed this short film called Commons Food with my friend Ian Clements. And the video poked fun at the quality of the cafeteria food at the time in our college, because it was like really bad at the time, and it was actually in a list of one of the worst in the nation. So that was like my first big film project. I think, yeah, that was my first big film. Like, that was the first short film I ever made. Commons Food. So Humans vs. Zombies was this campus-wide game of tag with Nerf guns in my college, and the club that hosted the game was called NSC, and I was a member of that. Now, the first video that we released was actually not made by me, but all the other videos after that, I wrote and directed them, and I always modeled them after some famous action movie trailer that was going on at the time. So, for example, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
Be branded terrorists out to incite global nuclear war.
So what happens now?
Your mission, should you choose to accept it.
If we don't contain the virus within the week, the entire human race will be at stake.
So what happens now? We survive. And Skyfall.
Some men are coming to kill us. We're gonna kill them first.
Some zombies are coming to tag us. We're just gonna have to shoot them first. They're all in this separate channel that I have listed in on my homepage. I used to have most of them listed on in here, but then I decided to move them to an individual channel. Those videos I love dearly, and a good bulk of my sense of how to move the camera all stemmed from that experience. I really liked Specials of the Day. There are two versions of that. The first version was the original, like, director's cut, where it's like 10 minutes long, and then my friend John McHale, who also starred in a video, he had this idea to cut it up and still have like more of a comedic effect, and that version is really funny also. I actually do prefer the edited version. The restaurant scene was really the pub at our college, and we couldn't find a way to turn off the air conditioning, so in those scenes you can barely hear what people are saying. So I tried my best in post-production to, you know, kind of raise the voice. I also like opening text and narration in film. That was probably the first time that I realized I'm getting better at this editing stuff. A long time ago, like 2011, I entered a contest for Nintendo Fangirl, who's still active, so wink wink, nudge nudge if you're listening. I hope you remembered this, because I messaged you and I never got a response back from you, but I did win the contest. I won a poster of Skyward Sword, which at the time was about to be released, and I never got it. Gave you my address, never got that poster, Nintendo Fangirl. But the contest was to just make some fan-made video about anything Nintendo related, or Zelda, Nintendo related, whatever. And I did a stop motion animation of Link, and it was called The Wielder of the Master Sword. And I had done some stop motion animation way back, years ago, like we're talking when I was like 12, 13, with Lego Studios. And I really wish I could dig up those old videos in my old computer. I think they're still in there, because I would make these stop motion animation videos with my Mario and Luigi action figures, and it was so fucking awesome. They were like fighting Transformers, and like Mario was like doing this Indiana Jones shit, and like he like went into this like temple, and like there was Megatron. Anyway, stop motion animation. So I made the Wielder of the Master Sword, and I won part of it. I wasn't like first, I don't know, was I first place? I don't remember. I was someplace. I won a prize, and I meant to get the Skyward Sword poster, and I never got it. So I wish I tried stand-up. There was a student-run cafe in my college, and they would have an open mic night. And in retrospect, after I graduated, I just thought about it. I was like, I should have tried that. You know, it's a small enough group that if you like fucked up, you were just with your friends and they'd just be like, oh lol, okay. But that was something that I really regret not trying. I wish I filmed more in college. I had the expectation that college was going to be this grand forum. I mean, in a sense, it is basically a forum where you could just kind of do whatever you want, which is true to an extent. But at the first thing that I actually did as a freshman when I went there, I wrote up these printouts and I posted them all over the dorms, and it was advertising for this film group that I wanted to put together, and I put in my email. And then days later, I noticed that they got taken down, and I got an email warning saying, hey, you can't post stuff. You just can't do that unless you're in a club and you're recognized as an official club. And that really ruined my sense of college. I was like, oh, there's red tape in college? What the fuck? I don't know how it is in other colleges, but like in the college that I went to, it was a lot more bureaucratic than I ever thought it would be. And that really sucked. I did have a group, and we had meetings, and we had a lot of funny ideas, and we just didn't get around to it because, you know, college, you have papers to write, tests to take, and just studying, and either that or just, you know, people kind of wander off and do their own thing. Where did the time go? I wish I filmed an actual series of Humans vs. Zombies with an actual storyline, because I inserted enough of a storyline and continuity in the trailers that you could kind of make somewhat of a story out of it. That was just something that I realized, oh, that would have been cool. I started here, that was when YouTube was just YouTube. There was no Google involved whatsoever, nothing with Google Plus or Gmail. YouTube was its own account, you had your own inbox and everything. The layout was much, much simpler. Ever since Google took over, it's like every time I want to look at something, it's like I'm getting a seizure, because it's like, no, I don't want to look at my fucking Google Plus profile. But when YouTube started, it was like the open frontier. It was almost like anything goes. YouTube was that substitute teacher who put on the fucking TV and was like, okay, do whatever, just don't kill each other. And it was awesome. The copyright law started to get really anal just around the time that Google started taking over. And that was really the main reason why it took me so long to fucking finish Secrets of the Scene, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I managed to put up 2 videos, but then after that, they were just like, no. They just kept shutting me down. There's this thing called fair use, And YouTube kind of throws that out the window. Fair use doesn't really exist anymore. And fair use is that law that says that you can use clips of other media, yada yada yada, so long as it is used for educational purposes. When I wanted to put my Secrets of the Scenes video, they said no. And then you had an option to fight against it. So, there was a list of options like, why do you feel that your video is an exception? There was an option about fair use. It's like, do you believe your video is in fair use laws? And I was like, yes. And then it went back to like, well, it was the most passive aggressive thing. It was like, well, even if it falls under fair use, it's not under the rules and regulations of YouTube because copyright. And I'm reading it like, what the fuck is your problem? You're making me go through this whole questionnaire, and it literally did not matter what option you chose. It all went back to, no, you can't do it. You think you can do it because of this? No. You think you can do it because of that? No. Oh, what the fuck happened to this place? I remember the mailbox. The mailbox was a lot simpler. And the thing that really sucked was that when Google took over YouTube, they gave you a warning that they were going to delete your entire inbox at a certain point to make way for the new layout. And that really sucked because I had a lot of awesome messages with people, but they were like 10 fucking pages or something of messages. So when I could remember that there was a deadline, I was like, oh shoot, it was like trying to finish a test before time runs out. You're just like, oh wait, I would, okay, fuck, okay. Here's the weird thing. Even when I had trouble putting up Raiders of the Lost Ark, my commentary, there were other channels that clearly had no problem doing any kind of film criticism or stuff like that. And I would ask them, I would be like, hey, how did you do that? But like, they usually have like 1 million subscribers and they're like mildly famous and they don't respond to anything. So it's like, hey, how did you, okay, bye. They're able to do it either because they're already connected or they just have a lot of, that woman who shot up the YouTube headquarters? It's funny to me seeing the usual arguments where people are like, oh, she was Middle Eastern, so then they spout all this Muslim stuff and Islam is evil and stuff like that, and then other people are like, no, gun control. Meanwhile, the answer is clearly, she got mad because fucking YouTube, like, messed with her views. I mean, not to sound like I have a tinfoil hat, but I think YouTube does some shady shit. Yeah, they're kind of like the Adjustment Bureau now. They have invisible hands moving things around, and because I've definitely seen a lot of comments throughout my videos suddenly disappear, and some things from my views are a little finicky. Like, it's like, I don't remember that. Are they trying to gaslight me? They're trying to gaslight me, aren't they? I kind of get where that woman is coming from, funny enough. So the way I see it, there are 7 types of channels. The collector, people who log onto YouTube just for the sake of compiling a list of favorites and likes. The commenter, these gracious, beautiful people. The throwaway, someone who made a YouTube account just for the sake of posting this one video that they thought was funny, or maybe it was a school thing, some kind of presentation, and then they forget about it. The lower class, this is where I fall in. These are people who still post videos, but not at all at a regular pace. There's no set schedule. Your videos once in a while may reach the thousands, but nothing too crazy. You've done absolutely nothing that catapults you into a household name or anything remotely of the sort. The middle class. These YouTubers post regularly, but they haven't attained any celebrity status. They're still somewhat niche. There's the good bulk of videos about like how to tie a tie, how to swing in baseball, how look at this arts and crafts stuff that I made, or video essays and stuff like that. The upper class, I generally like to view these people as somewhere in the general vicinity of having 1 million subscribers. They've attained some celebrity status, yes, but you still have to fish for them. They're the kind of channels that your friend goes up to you all like, oh hey, you gotta check out this guy that did this really cool video on such and such, and you're like, okay, cool. Pimpin' bitches. You got Game Grumps and Jack's Film and Jenna Marbles and Phil DeFranco. Miranda sings. Yeah, man, these people get to go to award shows and they have money deals and ads in their videos. Fuck yeah, celebrity status, all the YouTube drama, frothing at your mouth. Honestly, the fact that YouTube has award shows, I think it's just, we've really lost the point of YouTube. I have lots of plans for the future. For example, I have another segment that I've been really meaning to make called Angry Scientist, which is basically what it says on the tin can. I actually filmed the first episode, but there was an issue with the audio, so I have to reshoot the entire first episode, which is going to be a pain in the ass. I still have my untitled independent film group. Still gonna post videos on that, still have ideas for some mini-series. I am on the verge of announcing this animation that I am writing and directing called Space Hotel. Well, I mean, I did announce it just now, and I already kind of announced it through other media and other accounts, but fuck it, you know what I mean. I want to end this video commemorating the bulk of YouTube. You, the little people. The everyday posters who aren't really looking for just fame, they want to share something stupid or informative to the world. Just like the video I posted on here that I enlisted because I'm embarrassed to show you, I want to send out my message again. You keep doing you. No matter what happens, always stay true to you. Keep going. Keep making videos. It doesn't matter if you have 1 million views or like 7. I know I will. I will keep this channel open until the day I die. Fuck it. Go home. I don't know what else to end with.